Hello there and welcome back to another video. This video is going to be much more focused on transfers. Obviously Transfer Centre is now massively live. There are actually some deals that are happening right as we speak, and there's one here that's just broken, which is Watford signing Papa Gueye from Ligue 2, Ligue 2. One of the French league that's under the first division. Obviously that would make sense because Ligue 1 has now been postponed, cancelled, or whatever has happened to Ligue 1. Now, if you look at Ligue 1 as well, and obviously the French leagues in general, because they're not allowed to do even behind the, they're not allowed to do behind closed doors or anything like that until the 1st of September at the very earliest. So all of these, obviously PSG were the runaway winners, or were the runaway leaders, even with a game in hand. With 12 points and such like that. So obviously people are, clubs are, trying to get the jump on everything here and sign whoever they can, whoever they need to. But we're just going to go through a lot of different things. There's going to be a lot of Liverpool-based stuff in here as well. Carragher's done a column on how Liverpool can improve. I disagree on a couple of his points, and I want to point out why. And then obviously, we want to look at other things as well that might come up here. Just briefly go through some things. So obviously Watford have made a signing. He'll be there from the 1st of July. He comes from a League 2 club called Le Havre or Le Havre. I don't know how you say that name because I'm not French, but hey. I don't know if he's any sort of relation to Idrissa Gueye, who used to play for Everton, plays for PSG at the moment. I'm not sure who he plays for. So they've made a signing. Clubs are going to be making signings and making players available as well if leagues do become cancelled, null, void, whatever. So things like this are probably going to happen a little bit more often. Apparently Newcastle are going to make Mauricio Pochettino a priority. And honest to God, if Newcastle are able to get Pochettino or someone of that calibre, someone of that level, that will be absolutely unreal. That would be actually, and as much as I love Rafa Benitez, in the modern game, despite how it ended for him at Tottenham, he would be a fantastic manager. Honestly, he would be probably one of the best managers that Newcastle could ever hope for. There's been rumours that they were wanting to bring Kevin Keegan back in, but he's been out of the game for managing 12, 13, 14 years, something like that. I might be completely wrong on that one, but at least that amount of time, and especially I know he got Newcastle close with that whole I'd love it if we beat them, going riding high, going neck and neck with Manchester United and Alex Ferguson and all that lot. But someone like Pochettino would be absolutely fantastic for Newcastle. Now this one was interesting. I have never seen this guy play in real life. I'm just going to get that one straight out in the open. I've never seen him play a single game in real life. I've seen people play, there's FIFA cards and stuff like that about him. Other than that, I don't know anything about him. Apparently, he's hotly tipped to leave Lille, who, again, Ligue 1, that their transfer windows and stuff like that, or, their players are going to become a bit more available. So it's also claimed that his agent has held discussions with Liverpool, while Chelsea, Leicester and Man United are said to hold an interest as well. Now, if you go and look at Victor Osimhen, 21 years old, 1.85 meters. I didn't know what that was. That means he's 6'1". I don't work in the measurement of meters in height. It's just not something that computes for me. So working in feet just works much better for me. He comes from Nigeria, plays for Nigeria as well. And I think one of the quotes was, he's the future of Nigerian football by Odion Ighalo. So, you know what, he's got quite a good endorsement there. 27 games in Ligue 1. He's scored 13 goals, 5 assists. He's in the starting 11 quite a lot. He gets quite a lot of minutes, goal participation. He's a young lad. He's getting there. By all means, he's very much your centre forward. He can play on the wings by the looks of it here. If you ever look at anything on transfermarkt.co.uk, ignore the transfer market, ignore the current market values, because when the article itself is saying he could be ready to go for 60 million, but these lot are saying 25, ignore it. It's most likely going to be wrong. you look at where they were in the table as well. They were fourth in their league. Depending on what happens in the Champions League and the positions and stuff like that with leagues that can't continue, they've actually done really well. I think this was the team that lost Nicola Pepe to Arsenal, but they've quite clearly dealt with it quite well. By all means, he's a very good centre-forward. He's not necessarily going to give you that link-up play like a Firmino will give you, but will probably give you more of a goal threat than Firmino's offering, certainly this season. Obviously, this season hasn't been a great season for Firmino. He's not been offering the goals that he would normally offer or has done in previous years. That has been primarily down to the likes of Mane, the likes of Salah, and anyone else coming from deep as well. So he's not really been, he hasn't scored at Anfield in over a year. So I mean, it's one of those things. Could it be that we can actually bring Firmino back and use him as a creative force instead of the driving force of the centre forward position? That could be an option. This man could be an option as well. He's primarily right-footed. I believe he's got a good left foot from what people say, but again, as I said before, I've never seen him play a single game of football with my own eyes. I'm going to be totally honest about that one. Elsewhere, he has played 5 times in the Champions League, scored twice. I assume that these are the domestic cups for the French League. Scored twice, assisted once, scored once in this one as well. By all means, he's getting involved in goals and looks like he's getting involved in goals more and more. What would make sense with bringing in someone like him is if, say, our primary target of Timo Werner isn't available or decides to go somewhere else, or indeed decides to stay with Red Bull Leipzig. That is definitely something that could happen, and something that obviously Liverpool would want to be prepared for as well. I think, especially with the age of Osimhen as well, you've got so many years worth of development with a great squad, a great manager, great coaching staff, and a great team environment in general. It could be a really good learning place for someone like Osimhen. I don't have any problems with being linked to someone like that. Looks like he's progressing his career, getting involved in goals, getting involved in important goals as well. Let me know what you think of this one, of being linked to Osimhen in the comments below. Now, one thing that obviously, Timo Werner seems to be our primary target. Lots of people keep saying he's the right fit for Liverpool, and I do agree. He's so this is heat map in the Bundesliga, so obviously his primary places seems to like to come in off the left. Likes to come in off the left-hand side here to cut inside, probably on his stronger right foot. As it says here, only Lewandowski has scored more Bundesliga goals since his move from Stuttgart to RB Leipzig. So in the last 3 or 4 seasons, only Lewandowski has scored more Bundesliga goals. And that is quite something. Lewandowski is an unbelievable striker, as any of us would know. And I like these sorts of stats. I like these sorts of graphs as well. So Timo Werner, 24. I think that means Salah's 27 as well. Ages. Yeah, that makes sense. So they're comparing him with Salah. In fact, the underlying numbers show that Werner has outperformed the Egyptian this season in terms of expected goals, averaging 0.57, 0.45. He is slightly behind Salah for touches in the opposition box, but he matches him for dribbles. Now, the key thing that you'd have to remember here as well is that Salah's not a striker. So you'd have to also then say he's doing very, very well, Timo Werner, as a striker. Salah is obviously doing very well for where he plays primarily, but in general, these are the sorts of stats that you would want to see. Now, you see these red bits here where it says he's maybe not necessarily getting the pressure regains or anything like that, or the turnovers in possession, but he's doing successful dribbles. Expected goals he's performing here. More shots on goal, less touches in the box. Shot touch percentage, not sure entirely what that means, but what you would expect with this lack of activity in the aerial wins, pressure regain, is that Timo Werner is allowed to stay much further forward, just stay occupying the forward lines a little bit more, doesn't have to drop deep, especially like a Salah would, like a Firmino naturally does, like Mane does as well. So you'd expect him to be able to get his expected goals and expected goal shot percentage to be a bit higher than Salah's, because he's not having to use his work rate to come back as often, if that makes sense. Let me know if that does make sense. But I genuinely do think that Timo Werner would be an absolutely fantastic addition for Liverpool. He would, again, like, he would challenge the front three, definitely, massively challenge the front three. It would give us more options as well. Like, it would give us more flexibility in the fact that you don't, when Liverpool lineup comes out for a game, you know it's going to be a 4-3-3 of some kind. It's going to be a 4-3-3. Gives you a bit more options, in my opinion. You could drop things out into a wide 4-1-2-1-2. You could drop things into a 4-2-2-2 with like two wide attacking midfield, sort of like, so you'd have like your Salah and Mane, and then you could have like Timo Werner and a Firmino up front with, say, Fabinho and Henderson as your holding, or whoever. Then you could also have a 4-2-3-1, whether you have like wide wingers or you have them up tight. You've got a lot of different options by bringing someone like him in, and most importantly, he is a natural striker. Firmino's not a natural striker. Didn't play there for Hoffenheim. Plays there for Liverpool, sort of, but he more plays like a centre forward, almost like an attacking mid, creative as well. Drops in behind quite a lot to pick up the ball and provide for the other guys. He would be fantastic because he would be your focal point. You know that, and he's got redonkulous pace as well. I'd love him to come to Liverpool. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I think everybody would love him to come to Liverpool as well, apart from people that don't support Liverpool. Now, Carragher simply believes that we need key backup for the front three and a left back. Backup for the front three, yes, fair play. Or competition for the front three is what I would prefer it to be called. Someone like a Timo Werner, like a Victor Osimhen, someone like that. We've brought in Minamino. I think he will provide very good backup. I think Shaqiri will obviously be on his way out when in the next transfer window, whenever that happens. I think there's other, we've been linked to Willian. I've not done anything on Willian because I don't think it will happen, and I don't think it should happen. But I think, good competition for the front three would be healthy, not only in just pushing them on to perform at their very best, but give us options as well. But where I disagree slightly is with the left back position. Now, obviously, you look at right back. Nico Williams, for me, is a shoo-in as the next right back for Liverpool, in my opinion. If Trent Alexander-Arnold decides to want to move into midfield or something like that, which I think he could do like that. He could absolutely do it at the click of his fingers. If he wants to do that, fair play. But if he doesn't want to do that and he wants to stay as right back, Nico Williams could definitely be the backup right back, and he could fulfill that position very, very well. Whenever he's played for Liverpool, he's been very, very good for us. And I've got absolutely no issues with Williams being the second right back or competing with Trent. I think he'd be absolutely fantastic at that. You've also got Jana Hove, who's like 6 foot, Netherlands player, has played for Liverpool as well. He's played at centre back and he's also played at right back. His primary position is apparently as a right back, but I've mainly seen him play as a centre back, and he's done pretty well. 18 years old, he's a good option as well to play and cover at right back. No one's talking about covering right back position because of Trent and Nico Williams, and also because of Jana Hove. Now, my opinion is Larouci, or Larouci, however you say his name. He did get injured before a game, and I think Milner had to play instead of him, and he was destined to play. I think he'd be great. I think he'd be brilliant cover as a left-back player, and to develop him as well. 19 years old, he's got a good bit of height on him, about the same height as Andy Robertson, I think. I have no issues with him being able to play as a left-back. I think he's got all the attributes to be a good left-back and develop alongside Andy Robertson, but also got Adam Lewis as well, who I think could be, he's a bit shorter, he's 20 years old, but I think he could also be a good good developing left-back for us. He's played for us, EFL Trophy, played in the FA Cup game as well. The EFL one we lost, I think that was the Aston Villa game, and then the FA Cup game was against Everton, and we won. I think that was that game anyway. Either that or I've got it completely wrong. But that's why I disagree with Jamie Carragher's opinion that we need to bring in another left-back, when I think we've got the young left-backs right here. I think that we've got very good left-backs. I think we've got good young players of a good age that deserve an opportunity to be able to provide that backup for Andy Robertson, and on the other side as well, provide backup for Trent as well. Trent and Andy Robertson are arguably, or in my opinion, not even arguably, they are the best right back and left back combination in world football right now as it stands. With the way that attacking football and defensive football is right now, those two are the best. Those two are the standard. Having backup for them is going to be difficult to bring someone in of that type of quality that wants to play backup, when I feel we would be better spent maybe bringing in another centre-back or something like that, someone that can replace Lovren, who should be outgoing. We're gonna lose players like Adam Lallana. Well, Curtis Jones can come in and slot into that place as well. I think that there are, someone like Timo Werner in the striking position, maybe another backup player for the front three. That includes, obviously, Takumi Minamino as well. Shaqiri will probably be outgoing. Origi's going to be sticking around, I believe. Maybe another player there. Timo Werner would probably be the priority. Maybe another centre-back. Something like that. I don't know. What do you guys think in the comments below? I personally think that we don't need to be bringing in. We don't need to be going out and buying a left-back and a right-back. I think that we've got them in the system already, and they just need to be brought through. Let me know what you think in the comments below about everything I've talked about in this video, and if there's anything that you would like me to talk about in future, please do feel free to let me know it in the comments below. I'm happy to talk about pretty much anything apart from politics, because no. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do like it and subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you once again, and I'll catch you later.